Today I am here to speak about my journey, the Samudra Manthan that took place in my life, and the churns which transformed me into what I am today. More than 35 years back, I was a corporate employee. I was working with Larsen & Toubro, and my creativity was just waiting to be unleashed. It had always been a hobby to write, but I never got the scope except for freelancing a bit. Corporate jobs are pretty hectic, and it hardly leaves you time to do anything beyond the necessary duties. So I was leading a nice life. I had a good, well-paying job, a nice, vibrant social life, good friends, and a family support. Everything was going tickety-boo, as they say in the army. And then, boom, came the first churn. Everything turned upside down. My life took a somersault. It would never be the same again. I met an army man, and we decided to get married. That was the easier part of it. The difficult part was to decide whether to leave my corporate job and follow him to lead a nomadic life. It was like being asked to choose between a comfortable sofa and a roller coaster. And what do you think I did? What did I choose? I chose the roller coaster. And everyone asked me, are you crazy? You're leaving a stable job to lead a nomadic life? What next? A traveling circus? Well, my life almost became a traveling circus, except for maybe the wild animals. But then there were, periodical visits by the leopards. And we were hosted to a remote place where, we were staying in a forest. And there was no Wi-Fi. Of course, there was no internet at all those days. But we didn't even have a landline. We didn't even get posts because it was a place which has a lot of militancy. And they used to burn off the post offices and the post box. So the only letters we got was through, snail mail. And let me tell you, I do think I saw some snails overtaking my post. That was a situation. And we were living in a basha. Now, what is a basha? I'm sure you must never have heard of that term. A basha is like a structure with a 3-foot high concrete wall, and the rest is made of bamboo matting. Sounds exciting, right? It isn't. Really, it isn't. Not when you have, all kinds of snakes and other things around. And what happened is that I had to adapt myself to my new life. I did so. But initially, it was very, very romantic and nice. But after a while, I had to decide what to do with my life. So I took out my trusty typewriter and started pounding away my stories on it. I wrote about the experiences. And I sent it off to the newspapers, where they were lapped up because they were so unusual. And soon, I became a travel writer. Once again, there was a churn. Now, the interesting thing about churns in life is that they bring out the adventurous part of you. They offer challenges, but they also offer opportunities. We were back from the wilderness into a happening city, and I was in Bangalore. Life opened up, and I got my first international assignment as a travel writer. Exciting, very, very exciting. But there was a little problem. I didn't have a valid passport. And those days, since there was no internet and no computerization, getting a passport was like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. Well, I did it. I persisted, and I got my passport, and I did my international assignment, which opened up my path as a travel writer. Thereafter, I traveled to more than 40 countries, invited by various tourism boards, and I came back and wrote about them. Life was becoming very nice. And I even took up a job in a magazine to know what the inside working is like. And let me tell you one thing. The stories we publish are not half as good as the stories behind. And just as I was feeling very happy about the way life had turned out, boom, came another journey. And we were posted to a place called Bikaner. All the opportunities vanished. But then what? I always believe in carpe diem. You have to seize your opportunities, find them where they are hidden, and make the best of it. What did I do? I wrote radio plays for our Akashwani and in Hindi, a language which I had never written before. I took the help of some people, also locals and all that, to do my dialogues. But the thing is, the end result was very satisfactory. And to this day, I find the AIR broadcasting that play once in a while. And I also went and interviewed some film stars who were there to shoot a film. So basically, I was polishing and honing my skills as a writer. All the while, there was a thought at the back of my mind. It was nagging me to write a book. Write a book, write a book. It kept nagging me. How does one write a book? Just imagine writing a book of, say, 300 pages on a typewriter. It's a very tedious job. And so, just then, the computers had entered our country. And we were working on WordStar 4. I'm sure you must never have heard of that. For those who are born after 1990, a WordStar 4 to Microsoft Word is what a rotary phone is to a smartphone. So I didn't know anything because it was all ruled by DOS commands. It was not as easy as we have today in Word. You delete, alter, delete, and do whatever you want. There, one command gone wrong could wipe out an entire file, which I managed to do quite often. But I did get down and type out my manuscript. I did not have any idea about the publishing industry. And I was starting right at the bottom, mind you. I had to unlearn whatever I had learned in my corporate life, whatever I did in my management, and I had to get back to doing the other things right at the bottom. So publishing industry was something I knew nothing about. And those days, mind you, there was no internet, no Google. Google Baba did not exist, so you just put up a question and you get an answer. I didn't know any author either to ask about the industry. And I was wondering what could I do with my manuscript when suddenly destiny prevailed. I came across an ad in the newspaper which said that they were open to having new authors and were interested in manuscripts. Wow, I was just waiting for that. The problem then was there was just a post office box number. So my friend said, what are you doing? Are you going to be communicating with the secret society or something? What kind of publisher is this who doesn't give out his address or a name? Well, that was a chance I had to take. So out I sent my manuscript and continued to wait, dismissing a thought that I was communicating with some, murky organization. I heard back from them. A few months later, I got a reply saying they liked my manuscript and they were ready to publish it. The pay was minimal, but hey, it didn't matter. I was going to be a published author and my book had come. 11 books down the line, I suddenly realized I was being taken for a ride. I was being paid nothing at all. And they were taking away all the rights because I did not know anything about the publishing industry. So I changed my publisher. I changed my way of working and I started negotiating. I felt like a trader at a busy marketplace, but I negotiated for a fair pay. And I got it. Lesson learned, never undersell yourself. So from typewriter to computer, from travel writing to my books, it was a journey which required a lot of balancing act. Because don't forget, I was an army wife. And by that time, my husband was commanding a unit. And a commanding officer's wife has a lot of official duties apart from her usual life. So I did a good juggling. I balanced between my work, my family, and my duties. And I continued to write. And then came another journey. It was a big break. I got an offer for a book to be adapted into a web series, which was a real big thing for me, for anyone rather. And just like that, from a published author, I became an on-screen storyteller. So my life went through one phase to the other, and there were these churns which helped me around. And what did I learn? I learned that churning is a constant process. Every life goes through churning, and it offers you opportunities as well as challenges. You have to deal with the challenges. Challenges are like mountains. You find it difficult to climb up. Once you are up there, the view, the satisfaction is beyond measure. So challenges will occur. As Dave Ramsey said, success is a pile of failures you are standing on. So I had a huge pile of failures. Every writer knows that there are so many rejections that you can wallpaper them. So the point is that churning gives you opportunities. You have to grab them. I took opportunities wherever and whenever they occurred. I didn't care about what kind of opportunity they were. So basically, it is all about, accepting the challenges and adapting yourself and being optimistic. So what are the pearls that I gathered during my dive in the ocean and the journey that took me through the process? Embrace change. Change is the only constant thing in life. It will occur again and again. And you have to embrace it. You just have to remember that taking risks is a part of the game. Nothing ventures, nothing gained. As the old saying goes, I left my job. For a while, I was wondering what I would do because I had no source of income, nothing. And then I took up a challenge, I used it, and be adaptable. You have to adapt from a city to the wilderness, from the jungle to again the big city. We went through a whole roller coaster. Next, know your worth. Never undersell yourself. Your skills are far more valuable than you imagine. Always know your price and negotiate it. It's all about balance. Life is all about balance. You cannot have all work and no play, or all play and no work. You have to learn to balance, juggle between your duties and your leisure and everything. Do everything. Today, I write very, hard because I have written 35 books. I work very hard, but I have time slotted for it. And I never miss my walks. I never miss my yoga. I never miss meeting my friends. Because that part of life has to go on. Otherwise, you'll be very frustrated. Then some of us, you have to upgrade your skills. No matter which field you are in, a constant learning is the only way to success. I learned driving at 45. I learned swimming after 45. It goes on. I learned computers. Today I'm 70 plus. And I'm standing here talking before you, sharing my journey. But it has not been easy. There have been many ups, many downs. Maybe many more downs than many more ups. But in the end, I'm very happy and successful. So basically, I would say that what I learned is that life will give you opportunities and challenges. The little seed of ideas that you have been nurturing tomorrow can be a plant. It may not change the world, but it will definitely change you. It will transform you. Because journey is always transformative. So in the end, I will end by saying, I wish you all a very good journey in life, very exciting, lots of adventure and lots of success, but also you'll have to deal with failures. Thank you all for giving me this opportunity.